Oh man, here you go. It's Wednesday night. You
Welcome
know
to
what that
Breaking It
means?
Down.
You know what that means, don't you?
It's time for a show.
Let's go. Here's what we're gonna do. Take this off the presentation mode, and then we're gonna walk everybody through the show. So, second, and then let me get my headphones on. Actually, hold on one second.
Happy Wednesday. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. Thank you for joining us. Those of us, those of you that are with us in Riverside, we have our Riverside crew. So thank you for joining us in studio. We have a few select folks here. Thank you to those of you that are logging in on
Yes.
our YouTube channel. Shout out to everybody that's here. Let's get rolling. Aaron, I know you said that
Oh,
you're going to kick us off.
yeah. Real quick, on your side, mute your second YouTube window.
Rock and roll.
Now you're now you're muted. There it is. So I just want to make sure we're both okay. So
I was just testing it out to see if you'd catch it. It was all part of the show.
not only did I
Do you see
test
how quick he was to catch that,
You see
folks?
that? I heard it. Listen, he's testing my producer skills. Thanks everybody for coming. Listen, let's walk through rules because I actually ran into some people today. Believe it or not, we were at Five Guys for a little fundraiser, and someone was like, "Hey, I listened to the show and I watched the show, but they joined a few minutes late." And they were kind of like, it took me a little bit to figure out what's going on. So here's what we're going to do starting next week in the description for anybody who jumps in here, because listen, it's 8:15, it's a Wednesday night, you're doing things can happen. You jump in 5 minutes late, you see the live stream maybe an hour later once it gets pinned up to YouTube. So here's what we're gonna do. In the description box, this is starting next week. I'm gonna kind of walk you through this with my voice. I'm gonna paint a picture for you tonight. But looking forward to each and every Wednesday at 8:15 when this goes live, you'll see the description basically of what this show's about if you're new. So welcome to all those folks who are new. I know we have some returning folks in Riverside. It's going to say what this is and really how to play the game of the show, which is each week one of us tells a story. Myself, Aaron Califato, Anthony Vorndren, we share stories, and then we've been lifelong friends, and we have to try to suss out if one of us is telling the truth or a lie. Is it fact or is it fiction? Stories last about 20 minutes. We try to respect your time. We get out of here probably before 9 p.m. Eastern. So it goes quick. But here's the thing, you want to start watching from the very beginning because every little moment could be a tell. Every little moment could be a shift. And here's what we imagine. We were talking about this earlier on the phone today. I'm so fired up about this. We've started building this for a couple of years, and each week we're sending out text messages to smaller groups to join us on YouTube. We got a rotating group here on Riverside. Listen, we're doing this to not only test the feasibility here, we're working on our formula. We're refining the show, and here's what we've heard: people love following along. They love guessing at the end. But what we envision a year from now is that we have a whole group of people that join us each and every Wednesday night, and you all form a community that has to figure out. And you know what? Each week you'll be guessing, but you'll start to notice like a relationship, like, oh, I know Aaron's lying, or I know that's a tell for Anthony. And on top of that, we've already mentioned this. Pretty soon, once we can do it, we're gonna start bringing special guests in.
That's
And
right.
that we're going to throw you off there. It's not just going to be us for the rest of the time. You'll get a story from each of us. We're going to be bringing in special guests. So looking forward to that. Next week, check the pinned comments about instructions. Now, here's the one thing I want to mention, Anthony, before we get officially started tonight. I'm going to be giving away a $25 Amazon gift card again. Here we go.
Here we go.
What
I
is
know
this
we've had a
guy?
couple over the past couple weeks.
Oh, yeah, we got winners. By the way, here's the reality. I might have to mortgage my house because of this. But the deal is we want to give it away because it's a great incentive. I dropped a message on my Instagram stories. I may have done it too late in the day. We'll see. Next time I'm going to do it in the morning to drive everybody here. But listen, until the foreseeable future, I'm telling you, we're giving away $25 gift card to Amazon. But here's how you win. You win by first, you got to follow and subscribe on YouTube. If you're in Riverside, you probably already are. So thank you for that. So you got to follow on YouTube. That's the first thing. The second thing is you got to wait till the end. We've had a couple of controversies. You already know this, Anthony. Converse, tough conversations have happened.
Yeah.
People have jumped in, made their guess too early. Then they're like, "Did it not count? I should have won the gift card." Guess what? We're making the rules.
We we've had it's gotten testy. It
But
has. It's
so
gotten fiery, but you know what?
you know
It's
what?
all in fun.
It's all
It's
in fun.
all in fun.
So what we're gonna do is, I think my wife's jumping on here, and she in the last couple of weeks, Corey, wonderful. She's jumped on, non-biased. She's jumped on, and here's how you win. At the end, when Anthony gives me a chance in this episode to guess whether the story you're about to hear is fact or fiction, we will then signal to all of you who are still with us, still watching, to drop in the comment thread your guess. And the first one Corey sees. So you got to be watching. You got to be can't be. You got to be right there.
Gotta
Wait
be
till
right
the end. You
there.
got to listen for the signal. I'm going to say, okay, folks, we're going to give you 30 seconds to drop your guesses in there. And when that populates, she's going to pick the one. She's going to say, hey, this person won. And then we declare the winner. We reach out to you and you get a $25 Amazon gift card. So stay to the end. Okay. Anthony, you were on deck. Last week I told the story. Now we're going to sit back. I'm going to listen to Anthony's story. And remember, watch out for this guy because he's going to tell you a story. Listen, this is like when you're in the courtroom and it's opening statements. And the prosecutor, the lawyer's going to come in. He's going to say, listen, the attorney over here, he's going to walk you through some scenarios. He's going to use
Right.
body language. Hell, you might even like the guy. But I want you to be mindful of his thought process, things he says. Is he sweating a little bit? I don't know. Maybe if the jacket's a little too much, it's warm outside. Is he nervous? Does he stutter? Keep an eye out for this guy. Got your pen? Take your notes. You got your cup of coffee? I do. Cup of coffee right here. Take your notes, and at the end, you'll be prepared to guess on whether this story
That's
you're
right.
about to hear is fact or fiction. Anthony, the floor is yours.
Yep. And before we get started, just for the record, we are a 2-1 race right now. I am up by 1. Aaron is coming in hot. He's on my tails.
Better believe
So
it.
there's a lot riding on this story tonight, folks. So without further ado, let's dive in. I'm going to take you guys back to my childhood.
Here we
We're
go.
talking, yeah, here we go. We're talking somewhere in the age range of like 8 to 10 years old. Okay. This one is unique. It is something that I've been thinking about on and off for a long time, okay? Aaron, I think you might remember where this story takes place. It takes
I'm not
place
going
at
to know about the story, right? I don't know about
Oh,
this.
no.
Okay,
Nobody
just
knows.
for
Only
second.
only maybe one my wife knows about this story.
Whoa.
That's it.
Coming in really, we're going deep on this one.
We're going
Okay.
deep. We're
Where
we're opening the archives here.
where did
Okay?
it happen? Where do I know? Is it
This
oh,
is my home that I grew up in near like Wedgwood, down by Buckeye Woods. Aaron, you have
couple
frequented
blocks?
this house.
I know this house.
You know this house. Okay. So let me paint a picture for you all. This house, it sits in rural Medina County outside of Cleveland. I drive past it on occasion. Beautiful. Farmland, horses, fences, trees, lakes. You could just kind of you can really set back and relax in this area, okay? And as a kid, I would find myself often just wandering, right? Just going for walks. The neighbors were really, really flexible and really nice. They would let my brother and I, and sometimes my friends, Aaron, I don't know if you ever went on these little journeys that I would go on. I would just,
In the woods, way in the back.
in the woods, the fields, like there was like a barn in my one neighbor's house. If you're looking at my house to the left, they had
Yeah.
this like driveway that just went forever. I would ride my bikes down this driveway.
And there was horses in the barn, right?
There were
Did they have a horse
horses, they
barn?
had emus, they did the whole thing. There were
Whoa.
stray cats running around. I mean, you never know what you never know what you were going to run into, okay? So I would just go walk and walk. And as a kid, you don't realize like how small potentially like the landscape actually is. Like if I would go back there right now, it probably wouldn't be as big of a piece of property as I would have imagined it when I was a kid because
Mm,
everything is just bigger when you're a kid. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Everything. So anyway, long story short, I would go back there a lot on my own. There's blackberry bushes, raspberry bushes, wide open fields, right? Beautiful sunsets. just soaking in the air. I was an outdoorsy kid. I just constantly playing, finding something to do, climbing trees. Lucky to still be alive sometimes, just running around doing crazy stuff. I think I'm glad I'm here too. And I think that's an testament to probably most of us, right? Just especially growing up in the 80s and 90s. So what's interesting is I started having dreams.
Here we go.
This is where, look, and I've wrestled with these dreams for a very long time and trying to dissect and understand why I was having these dreams. And it's really hard to sit here on this platform and talk about this subject specifically, okay? But I'm going to do the best that I can to describe the dreams, the pattern of the dreams, the detail of the dreams, the cadence of the dreams, and what I believe, may be a reason why I had them. So I started having these dreams often, and they were very intense. And what I'm going to describe to you might sound curious. It might sound interesting. I would be in the field behind my house that I would visit and go play and do all these things that I was just describing in the dream.
To be clear, this is the dream.
In the dream, I would be back in the field, okay?
Taking some notes.
Take your notes, pull out your Duncan, whatever you have to do. In the dream, you can imagine like a dusk setting, the clouds would come in. It's quiet, it's a little bit windy. It starts to get dark. It's not like creepy, but I was nervous, like something seemed off.
Ominous.
And out of the distance, I would see lights. Aaron's off camera, everybody. These are the moments I live for.
I can't right now. Okay. Yep.
I would see lights. Unsure of what this meant. This is where the dream started. Mm-hmm. I wake up. I don't think anything of it. Not a big deal. Go on with my life. I'm a little kid. I'm not thinking about the dream so much at this point, okay? Or even the first couple. We're talking maybe once a week-ish. I'd have that level of the dream, okay?
But it's not affecting your life.
It's not affecting my life. But it's enough that I'm like, hey, why am I having this dream? It's maybe because I go back to the field and I spend a lot of my time there. I'm thinking about like what G.I. Joe I want to buy in the weekend. Or I'm thinking about, hey, what do I want on my pizza? I'm going to get Taco Bell. Those are the things that I'm focused on.
Important.
Right?
Yeah.
Important stuff. Weekends go by. I still go back there. Sometimes with my brother. Like I said, I just wander, hang out, pick berries, play in the woods, build forts. The dreams are starting to become a little bit more intense.
Here we go.
So, same setting. Lights. The night sky starts to get darker in the dream. The lights start to get closer. Okay?
I'm getting scared, I'm going to be honest with you.
That's okay. Like I said, this is I debated on whether I should tell this story or not because it's very personal.
I'm here to support. No, I'm joking. When I joke, I'm joking because I'm feeling you. No, you're throwing a curveball tonight. I love it.
Look, Aaron and I have pre-meetings every week. We talk shop. I did tell him that this story it's going to be different. You could laugh, you could cry, you could make jokes. I don't take it personally.
Real quick, we got Tim in Riverside just joining us. Got to shout out Luke, my man Luke, awesome human being. Luke's here. Looks like the bench is back, trying to get
the bench is back.
Hey,
first winner.
Yeah, first winner. Trying to get $25. Love it. Come back in, and a few more. So just a quick pause intermediately to thank all the folks who just joined us. Riverside, YouTube. Okay, continue. The dreams.
So we're back.
More intense.
The dreams are getting more intense. For those of you that just joined, I'm having these reoccurring dreams. I'm going out into a field. There's lights that are coming out of the sky. As the dreams progress, The lights are getting closer to me. The evening skies are getting darker. Again, I don't feel scared. That's what's really interesting here, because you would think that this is the type of dream where you'd wake up in a cold sweat and you'd be like, hey, I need to go find my mom and dad. I'm not feeling that way. As time passes, the dream, we're talking weeks of these dreams. They're starting to become more frequent every other day, sometimes every day. The ship, there's a ship that appears in front of me in the dream. And I still remember to the day, like vividly, like, I don't know if any of you watching or even you, Aaron, have had dreams that sit with you that you can still remember. I think that there are dreams that are passing, like a passing dream. You just forget it, right? But then there are some that stick with you. So this ship was like a dark gray, and it wasn't like a saucer or anything like that, okay? It almost looked like a triangle, but imagine rounded corners at the triangle. It had red lights in the corners, and it had at the bottom of the ship, there was like a white glowy bulb looking light that wasn't like it wasn't flat on the bottom of the ship, but it had like a little bit of a bubble. So it was hanging down just a little bit.
It's a lot of detail.
Right. So the ship would hover over the field in the dream. It progressed, these dreams, to the point where in the dream, there were entities.
Here we go. I can't.
There were entities that appeared.
Now, at this point, are you freaking scared yet?
No.
You badass. Here we go.
So
you're not scared?
Again, it what's really
showing up?
What's interesting there, yeah, and I'm gonna give you all some detail of these entities here momentarily, but I do want to add the context that I was still going to the field. Knowing that I'm having these dreams, I wasn't scared to go back and play. I wasn't like, hey, I'm gonna go there at like 8 o'clock at night when it's pitch black dark, or 9 o'clock, because, my parents probably wouldn't want me to do that anyway. The entities that appeared in the dream, they looked human. They didn't look like aliens. So it's not like these creatures just appeared. Right. They looked like perfect humans, like blonde. There were, I can't remember exactly how many, I think 3 or 4, female, male. They looked tall. They almost looked like they just looked too. They looked too perfect. These were like beautiful people. Like maybe not from here. Maybe I don't know. It was really confusing. I didn't understand. And what I remember is the last dream that I had, they were walking around the field. The ship was hovering at a very low altitude, so it wasn't like landed in the field, but it was hovering. They were collecting samples, walking the perimeter line. Okay? Mm-hmm. They left. They left in their ship. The dreams ended. In the dream. Okay. In the dream. They left. So the dream stopped. A couple weeks. Wasn't thinking too much of it. And things got a little bit more interesting for me when I went back to the field near dusk one night, and I saw lights.
Not a dream.
Now, not in a dream. Now, this is a moment where I had to literally say, okay, am I dreaming? Or is this real? Right? Okay? But I knew in that
so many times in
yes.
the dream that now in real life, let's be honest, you had a moment where you didn't know what was real and what wasn't.
And exactly. And look, a lot of the times as human beings here, like in this moment, Aaron, is what we're doing right now, is it a dream? All of you that are watching this episode, Are we dreaming?
It's a simulation.
Is this a simulation? Who knows?
Okay.
So I'm walking out into the field. This is weeks after the last stream. I see lights. I stop myself.
Okay.
And I'm like, I start to get a little nervous. It's got to be an airplane. Can't be anything more than that. I'm focused on doing my normal routine. I walk this perimeter line of the field when I get back there. I just look for whatever I can find. Like there's animals out there, deer. Like I still do that to the day. We've got Aaron. We go on walks. I'm out there looking for deer, spotting birds.
Yeah, you're
That's how I roll.
Yeah, perimeter. You're doing the perimeter.
I'm doing the perimeter. I was getting steps as a kid. I just wish I had an Apple Watch back then. So the lights, they're getting closer. The lights.
In real life.
Yeah, this is now. This is real. This is not a dream.
Asking. I'm not trying.
You gotta ask.
I'm asking just to make sure.
Yeah.
You hear me? Okay.
The lights are getting closer, and I'm in the field at this point. I'm not near the perimeter. It's getting dark because I had been out there for a while, losing track of time.
Yeah.
It's getting very close to dark, but I can still see what's going on around me. The lights appear very close. It's a ship. It's the ship from the dream.
I'm done. I'm cooked. I'm cooked.
Yeah. It's the ship from the dream.
So what do you do?
And again,
what do you do? You start running home. You get on the ship.
Here's where I wanted to, but here's the scary thing. I couldn't move.
Okay. So
I couldn't move. Look, I don't know if it was because I was scared or whatever this thing was affecting the space around me. I couldn't do anything. So in the moment, I was an observer of this situation. So I watched the ship.
Right.
I basically watched the dream that I had play out in real life in front of me. The beings, the human-looking folks came out.
In real life.
In real life. And they looked at me. They made eye contact with me and they smiled. They smiled at me. And they waved. It wasn't scary. I wasn't scared at this point because, number one, do you know what I thought in the moment? And as I thought about this years later, as a kid, I convinced myself that this was like the Army or the Air Force. I didn't come to the realization until my adult years and didn't really want to tell this story because I didn't want to be made out to be a weirdo. I don't think these people were from here. They collected samples of the earth, smiled at me. I don't know how long the time had lapsed. It felt like an eternity, but I would assume it was probably like 10, 15 minutes. They waved to me again, and they went into their ship. Like it was weird. I saw a light, but I couldn't see if they had actually landed or if it was still hovering. It looked like it was still hovering. They went into the ship.
Okay.
And what was really interesting is it hovered, it flew above the tree line, it paused, and then it was gone. There was no like slow acceleration and then like a zip. It was a slow acceleration above the tree line,
disappearing,
hover, gone, disappear. So I walk back home, very confused, a little bit scared, unsure of what I had seen. Didn't tell anybody.
Well, that's a kid in the 90s.
I couldn't tell anybody because I was afraid that my parents were going to think that there was something wrong with me. I was making up stories.
By the way, scaring some folks. Corey says I'm not sleeping tonight, my wife, so I'll be up too, Anthony. Hey, you got to tell these stories. Listen, BID's not all fun at games.
Sometimes we have to take it there. So, as like I said,
Didn't tell anybody.
10 years old, you're not connecting these dots. You're not connecting the dream to the situation. I kind of blocked this out for most of my youth. I got to be completely frank here. When I started thinking about this situation again was probably in my early 20s,
It
in my
starts
30s.
Yeah, then the dots.
The dots start to connect.
Here we go.
And you have that moment where you literally say, I had that experience. And there was a reason that the dreams happened, that I was supposed to be communicated to. I was supposed to see something for a reason in that moment. I don't know why. It was a very unique experience that I went through. I'll never forget it. I still remember vivid details from it. That is my story, ladies and gentlemen.
And the question,
welcome to Breaking It Down on a Wednesday night.
And you might not sleep tonight. Here. And the question is, and I'm going to give this signal to the audience here in a second. Before you make your guess, those of you on Riverside know the drill because you guys join us. You've been joining us for a while. Those on YouTube, I don't know where else. I think it's YouTube's the primary place we're streaming right now. Those on YouTube, wait. Don't guess yet for the $25 Amazon gift card. I got to say, I'm going to make my guess here, and I'm not going to take a long time circling around it. But the question is this fact or fiction? Anthony, this is a tough one, man, because listen, I remember that house. I remember going over there and seeing you on a 4-wheeler, 3-wheeler, jumping ramps. You had a Batman signal carved in the back of your head from the barber. You had a rat tail. You were living the life. I know that life out there. When we would visit, I'd go to that barn that you talked about. Your dad was the first one to tell me, hey, horses can hear storms from miles away. That's in my memory. That's your pops told me that. So this is very real, meaning the circumstance. Here's where I'm starting to get suspicious. There's some things that are emerging. There's some things about the characters, the blonde hair. Reminds me of a Star Trek episode. I don't think you even watch Star Trek, but there's blonde hair, blue eyes.
It's fine.
Okay. I have one, as you know, we, the audience, but myself as the audience, the royal we, I'm allowed one guess or one question, one clarifying question. And
one clarifying question.
Yep.
Aaron will make his guess, and then we're gonna actually open the floor here pretty quick for you all to make your guess as well.
So when you saw that ship, you said you were frozen. You couldn't move really, whatever that was.
Yeah.
Were you able to speak? Did you say anything?
No, nothing. I couldn't speak. Nothing. Frozen. Just like I have no explanation for what that feeling was like. It just imagine it was like being in shock. Like for those of you who've experienced being in shock, where you literally have like a loss of words, but like I literally was frozen in my location. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't talk. And like I said, it could have been a fear reaction. It could have been the space around me, given the circumstances, but there's nothing I could do. And I would have been too scared to even say anything, even if I could.
All right. I am not looking at the chat right now so that I will not be able to, cheat. I'm Xing the chat out on our system. If you were watching, wherever you're watching right now, we're going to give you 30 seconds. You go ahead and drop your guess in, whether you think this is true or false, fact or fiction. I'm not looking, Anthony. Okay?
I'm not looking either.
Make sure you don't comment. Corey, if you're still with us here, my wife's amazing. Thanks for joining us, by the way, Corey. Facilitating.
Shout out to Corey.
Shout out to Corey. Corey, let's give folks 30 seconds to a minute to put their guesses in. If the first one that guesses correctly, you win an Amazon gift card, $25. It's coming your way. You can listen. Money's tight these days. You can get a lot of stuff on Amazon for $25. All right,
absolutely.
They got that. They got that power. They're sending folks into space. Things are getting bananas. So go ahead and make your guess here. We're going to give it about 25 seconds while people are dropping guesses in the comments. I got to be honest, man. I remember going over your place, as a kid and us growing up together. The reason why this is so hard, Anthony, is because you and I always looked up to the skies and we've always felt like, what's up there? I've told
What's up there?
stories about it on 7 Minute Stories, my podcast. What's going on up there? Right.
Right.
Like everyone laughed Tom DeLonge out of the room for months. Now, all of a sudden, the government's coming forward and saying, listen, we can't say it's exactly this, but there are unidentified things. And oftentimes, a lot of the stuff is fiction. There is. I mean, when these reports come in, there's a lot of people, but there are some instances now that are starting to gain credibility. My question is, you had a dream, you didn't have a dream. I don't know if this was a dream or not. And I also can't tell if you're freaking lying to me or not. Not because you're dishonest. You know how to tell a story, and I've been wrong before. Here's my guess.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, the cards are being laid out on the table here.
What I can't say is whether I can only say what's true to you, right? So the honor system, meaning is there a chance that you, clearly this is an experience there's no verifiable proof. You can't come in with the white papers saying, oh, they found the ship. But are you being 100% honest with this experience? My answer is yes. This is a true story.
This is your final guess, true story?
Final guess, true story.
I'm just letting the suspense build up.
Come on.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You're cooking me. You're boiling me.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is fiction. Let's go. 100% made up, top to bottom. Woo!
What's the score now? Is it 3-1 you?
3-1.
3-1 you. It's a long season, buddy. By the way, as we build this up, I'm going to go to Corey here in a second. I'm going to check the chat because we didn't have it open. Here's the thing.
We're going to break this down here in a moment. We're going to talk about it because there was inspiration behind this story that I want to talk about. And I want to talk about.
I'm pissed. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a little emotional right now. I'm pissed because I thought you had me. It's not even that I know you would think. I just thought there's no way you would that you would spin a tale like this. Here you go. Unbelievable. I got Charles Dickens over here spinning a tale. Let's see. Who ended up Corey, who won the thing? Corey, anybody? Nice.
She's good. She's checking the timestamps. She's going to report back.
She's reporting back.
She's got to go through Riverside and YouTube, I think.
Checking the timestamps. Amazing. Okay. While she's checking the timestamps, we got the chat open right now.
Break it down.
We're going to end here in about 9 minutes. Like we said, get you out of here at 9 p.m. Eastern. Here's the thing. I want to also say what's going to be really fun. We're keeping score, but when we project this show out a year from now, as we're starting to build it, right? We're doing all the stuff. What I'm excited about, Anthony, is to have a group of people that show up on Wednesdays, and we're keeping score for the audience, and now we get prizes on the line. Now we're talking about groups, factions, like professional wrestling. It's WCW versus NWO, breaking it down style. And at the end of the season, we got prizes galore, and there's going to be some tension. There's going to be some hard conversations. There might even be some fights. Let's be honest.
Anything's possible.
I love it. Okay.
So
let me check this. Let me just say, let's break this down really quick of how we got here. For those of you who's just joining, to put a nice button on this and end our night. Thank you, everybody, for joining us sincerely, wherever you're at Riverside. Okay. So I want you to just nod your head. Tell me if I'm right. You're having these dreams as a kid, right? They're vivid dreams. Right? You're going through, and then you kind of go back and forth. And that's the one thing I felt was like, is it dream? Is it real? But the reason why I picked true is you have had a fascination with aliens for your whole life. One of the things, if you didn't know, you have a fascination with aliens. You and I would talk about it. It's part of we've been talking about life out there. I even said it during the story. Yeah. So that's what I thought to myself, maybe this is the thing. And you also set it up pretty well with, I'm going to share this vulnerable story. Here he comes.
Hey, man, it's a part of the art. This is what we do. This is Aaron at any point in time can fool me. I hope to be able to do the same. And we hope
What does this say about
you,
us?
this is why we're doing breaking
This
it
is why
down,
we're
because
doing
what
it.
you're seeing is an authentic response from Aaron and an authentic response from me. This is lovely.
This is also a great lesson for storytellers out there. I know there's a lot of storytellers, I mean, in different ways. With great power comes great responsibility, because here's the deal. We've all seen it. You have really skilled storytellers and you use it for good, it can change the world. But you can also be that person handing out a pamphlet. You end up on a mountaintop with a weird haircut. Alien ship comes to get you, you're gone. By the way, no pun intended. Also,
Very apropos.
You mentioned the Army and the Navy. Here you go, wearing the Army fatigues on your outfit. I'm like, now he's bringing in outfits. This was an ingenious construction of a fictional story. I should have the dream thing should have got me, and being a kid. I don't know, man. I honestly, this was a tough one. A bunch of people said this is a tough one. It was a wonderful story. I was wrong. I lost this one. Why don't you break down some moments that maybe were based on truth, but then where it went sideways, and then we can announce the winner here. I think Corey got somebody, and then we can head out for the night.
Yeah, absolutely. No, let me just say this. I purposely told this story in a way, Aaron, it might be hard for you to hear this, where I had a feeling you were going to guess true. I was playing to the dealer. And here's the thing.
You're using my emotions against me. Let's be honest. This game is starting to take a turn. You're starting to psychoanalyze me is what you're doing.
So here's the thing. And for the audience, I almost broke character.
When was it? Was it when I was going off camera? I
No.
thought I saw you smile a couple times.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. I knew it.
So here's where I almost broke character. Two reasons. One, seeing you the responses from you going off camera and being like, here we go. Those are the trigger words that I start to laugh. But when I talked about the ship starting to arrive, I almost broke character myself. Now, listen, here's the reality.
Should have known the blonde-haired people, too.
I'm going to tell you guys something. For those of you that are still with us, this story came from a story that I read about an experience that someone alleged this actually happened to them in a similar capacity.
Okay.
The latter part of the story they alleged they went through. The former part did not. So the dreams I added into my own element. I'm like, how can I take this story that I read a long time ago about someone who said they saw entities from potentially another planet collecting samples from Earth. They looked like humans. They looked like perfect people. But I wanted to take it to another level and incorporate dreams.
Did you ever have dreams like this? Was that fictionalized?
That was all fake.
Son of a...
And I went into today as I did prep for this episode. Look, this is serious. Aaron and I, we're like, it's like a professional athlete. You prep, you warm up. I was thinking we're going to take breaking it down to a new level tonight. We're going into space.
We're going into space. By the way, congratulations.
The bench.
That's $50 in the last 3 weeks. The bench.
Shout out to the bench.
And the bench isn't the only person here. We got folks in Riverside. We have folks on YouTube. But he's like that Jeopardy contestant, the clicker. He's got the clicker. He's ready to go. He's ready. So you got to listen. This guy, he's going to be, Rob, you're going to be a millionaire just from watching this show. So please do me a favor. Do Anthony and I a favor. We're coming back next Wednesday, 8:15, as we do. And bring a friend with you. If you enjoyed this process, this is fun for us. We want to keep growing this community. And we're doing the people that are here on YouTube and the people that are here in Riverside, we're starting small with our circles, telling people about this. But eventually, through this kind of act of trust and really getting real people involved, it's a fun thing to kind of decompress after your day. You got stuff going on to kind of sit back and it's fun to be a detective, isn't it? Just for a little bit. So it's unbelievable. Congratulations, Rob, the bench. Unbelievable. You're going to get that $25. And I will say this. You guys want to be quicker on the trigger next week. So get ready in that moment where we say, drop the comments. That way, when the bench is there, he's already proven that he's the fastest. I hate to keep using, he's the fastest guy in the West. Just pop, pop. He's got it. Okay. So that's amazing. But tell your friends about it. Bring them back. And everyone says, tell your friends. Tell one person.
Tell one person.
Tell one person. You know what it is? All you got to do is just text them the link to this YouTube page. It's a click of the button. You know what I'm saying? It's not back in the day where you got to commute to New York, buy a ticket, find parking, circle for an hour. Here's what it is. You sit in your PJs. You're sipping some coffee, maybe some decaf tea if you're over 40.
Maybe a bourbon.
Maybe a freaking bourbon. And then you come back here just for 45 minutes. We tell you some stories. You get to be a detective for 45 minutes. And hell, you could win $25. Tell a friend, drop a text and say, hey, join us, BID. There's this fun storytelling game show where they do truth or fiction, fact or fiction, truth or false, whatever you want to call it. So that's exciting. Next week, I'm on deck.
You're on deck.
And now I'm actually personally invested. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, I'll believe it when I see it. No, I have no doubt you're coming for me.
Last week, I got you.
You did. You got me. You got me.
And then you upped the game. Now, what stunts are we going to pull?
That's where this is going to evolve.
Am I going to start planting phone calls at your house? What
I don't know.
Hey, who knows what you could have done here? Maybe you would have someone walk by with a flashlight to simulate the lights in the field. How far will you take it?
How far? Well, everybody that's following along, we appreciate you because you're going to see the evolution of the show.
Yeah. Shout
out to every single one of you that attended tonight. Shout out to the bench for winning again. The bench, you are not even sitting on the bench anymore. You're in the starting lineup. Welcome to the game. We'll see you all next week for another storytelling showdown. We'll see what Aaron brings to the table. But here's what I will say. I'll be ready.
Talk to you then. See you next week.
Have a good night.